What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and learn about Canada's solution to food waste. I absolutely love the topic of this video. The name of this one that I found here is called Canada Gets Creative in Solving Food Waste Problem. This is so relevant, especially for America, but really any first world country where people living there, I think it's pretty common knowledge that, especially in America, you notice a lot of food getting thrown away, getting wasted. And in America, it's definitely true compared to a lot of other countries. Our servings and our portions that are given to us for food at restaurants and even the stuff you buy at the grocery store, meals and whatnot, so much food gets wasted because there's so much food that's not eaten. Each individual person, usually, like, it's not all that uncommon that you can't finish it all, and it just gets thrown away, and it's definitely sad, and it for sure is disturbing, especially if people, living in parts of the world where you're quite literally starving each day, desperately trying to make enough money to buy food for your family just so you can get by. Thinking about that and then kind of comparing that to how we're all tossing like perfectly good food into the garbage because we can't eat it. There's so much we can't eat it. And talk about a first world problem. Anyway, I thought this video would be really nice and very enjoyable for me. I love hearing about this stuff. Canadians getting creative with solving food waste, maybe figuring out a way to recycle food waste or reduce the amount of waste, or I'm just interested to learn a little more about this topic. And to see that Canada's doing something about it is fantastic. So here we go.
Okay, it's gonna take a while to heat up.
Chef Jagger Gordon hates the thought of people going hungry.
Smells delicious.
With a thriving catering business, he's almost always surrounded by food. So he was shocked years ago when his young daughter came home from a sleepover and told him there had been no breakfast for anyone.
I always thought there was enough food for everyone. Why would someone not have food in their fridge in the morning?
The realization.
Oh, yes. I mean, this is kind of taking it a different direction where obviously, even if you're living in a first world country like America, like Canada, there's those living amongst you who, just because you're getting enough food and you can toss away extra food and live all comfortably, doesn't mean that another person in a very similar environment to you is in that same situation. So this is an interesting story. I like that this is a very personal story as well, as this guy hearing from his daughter that his daughter's friend, their family wasn't able to feed everyone in the morning. So this is good.
That poverty and hunger were so close to home. While
Right. Poverty, exactly. Just hearing about poverty and hunger, literally in your home, this close to home, really makes you think.
In the morning.
the realization that poverty and hunger were so close to home, while also seeing the incredible amount of food that goes to waste in his industry, turned this caterer into a crusader.
We are feeding.
Yes. Oh, man. I don't mean to be pausing this so much, but they're making such good points. I already get a little disturbed thinking about how much Americans waste. Whenever I go to a restaurant and you see it all on other tables, and even I'm guilty of it as well, if I can't eat the whole thing. And thinking about people in poorer countries, thousands of miles away that I'll never see. That's disturbing enough, but this is talking about people in your own community who need help. So maybe often that's what it takes for it to be literally in front of your eyes for someone to actually do something about it, which is sad, but also very beautiful and touching in this case as well.
Thousands of people a week and diverting tens of thousands of pounds a week of perfectly edible food that's in the landfills.
I'm going to play that again just to make it clear. So he's helping thousands of people by doing this.
Caterer into a crusader.
We are feeding thousands of people a week and diverting tens of thousands of pounds a week of perfectly edible food that's destined to landfills.
Wow.
His mission is to feed it forward with a number of projects like this grocery store. The food here is practically free.
And
Huh.
people just pay what they can?
Yeah, it's more like donate what you can.
The workers are volunteers, the food donated by retailers. Looks perfect, but it didn't sell fast enough and is no longer considered fresh enough for fussy consumers.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly. Oh, man, America needs much more of this kind of thing for sure. This is super nice. Super nice to hear about, like, from Canadians as well and existing in Canada. Yeah, all the the way that grocery stores definitely in America will take fruits and vegetable off the shelves and just won't and bread and won't sell it anymore, and I imagine that just gets thrown away. But no, like there's a lot of people, lot of people who would be very, very happy to take that.
This would have been sold somewhere else, most of this stuff?
So this was for sale everywhere. This is rescued. All this food and everything that I deal with is rescue food.
Rescued from the garbage heap. $31 billion worth a year just in Canada. Food
Yeah.
goes to waste on the farm, in transit, in processing plants, in restaurants, and in our homes.
Yeah.
Now that's changing.
I mean, do they literally go to like a garbage heap like that? And yeah, like I'm not saying it as a bad thing, but that just adds a couple extra steps. Or rather, I actually think it's nice to most people, they would consider this food that's been like thrown away as like disgusting and unedible. But if you're actually starving, like it's a godsend that people like this are rescuing this food, no matter where it is, cleaning it, preparing it, and then offering it for basically no cost. Like that's very, very good.
Last 20 years, our team has been focused on extracting waste from the supply chain.
Efficiency expert Martin Gooch did the research that came up with that $31 billion figure.
And this project is the first of its type in the world.
Today, he's telling a group of farmers about his newest project that will highlight where exactly waste occurs and how much it costs business.
We have this perception of affluence and abundance. We can afford, most of us can afford to waste some food, whether
Yeah.
we're an individual consumer or whether we're a business.
I think that's one of the more disturbing aspects of it, or unfortunate aspects, is most of us can, no problem, throw away the excess food, and it does not affect us. It's no big deal. But for just this tiniest amount of extra effort, you can quite literally change other people's entire lives, giving them access to this food that they wouldn't otherwise have. It's such a small thing to people who are in that like more privileged position, I guess, of having food and not worrying about it. It's such a small thing to them compared to such a huge thing to those who don't have it. That's the thing.
Hi, Lloyd.
Hi, nice to see you.
His project is being funded by Second Harvest, a social agency that distributed over 10 million pounds of surplus food last year.
We know that there is so much more food that we are not accessing. And that's one of the reasons we're doing this research, is to find out, okay, where is this food?
Yeah.
Every morning, a team delivers truckloads of unsold food donated by big grocers.
Wow.
But what we found was there was
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of seemingly giving groceries and restaurants and people, just give them the opportunity to donate that excess food. And I think most people will do it, and do it in this case. But it's just literally just providing that service, saying, hey, give us your excess food, and we'll make sure it gets to the right people. It's such a great thing. It's really great.
there's a lot of places that were smaller in scale that we weren't going to pick up from because we wouldn't send a truck there. It just wasn't efficient. So we created something called foodrescue.ca. It's a web-based platform. I kind of call it the eHarmony of food.
The site matches smaller donors and those in need. A great idea, but still, as a society, we toss
It matches smaller donators directly to those in need. That's nice. Again, this website, just creating ways to make it more convenient to do this, to making sure food isn't wasted or it gets to people who could use it. Just creating these creative ways to do it makes such a difference.
Far too much food, and that contributes to global warming.
Oh, wait, what? What do we have here?
As a society, to smaller donors and those in need. A great idea, but still, as a society, we toss far too much food, and that contributes to global warming. Rotting food creates methane, a pollutant even worse than carbon dioxide.
Ah. Oh, wait. I'm getting a pop-up. Adobe pop-up. Adobe. No, Adobe. We're trying to solve hunger here. We don't have time for you.
That's what inspired this young company.
So this is the regular box that gets delivered weekly in Toronto and London. It has basically produce that farmers can't sell to grocery stores, and they usually end up throwing away in the garbage.
Cedric.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's a good point. All these little things that you never think about, like, I'm sure there are standards, or I don't know if it has to do with the size or shape or whatever kind of quality metric that farmers can only sell certain produce and whatnot that looks a certain way or meets certain standards that grocery stores will accept. Everything else just gets chucked away into the garbage because they're a business at the end of the day. Farmers have to make money, so I understand that they're not like putting extra resources into trying to recycle the food, but this is a perfect opportunity for people like this to get in touch with those farms and be like, hey, we'll do it for you. That's a great thing Canada's doing.
Samaha is with Flash Food, a startup that offers home delivery of less than perfect vegetables,
Right.
rejected by grocers.
Yeah.
For example, this potato, it's disfigured.
I feel like I've bought potatoes like that at the store
exactly.
before. That's not that...
Exactly. It's like a slightly lumpier potato. Slightly lumpier potato. Probably tastes better.
radical.
Yeah, most of them don't have a lot of issues. Like the cucumber, the size sometimes is an issue, so they won't send it through.
That looks perfect too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, these look good, and they were previously getting thrown away. Wow.
Flash Food is growing thanks to demand from customers like John Griffiths and Michelle Clark.
Having a box delivered which is food that would normally go to waste because it doesn't look perfect is great.
The service does.
Yeah, I mean, this is good, even for people who aren't like literally starving to death or living paycheck to paycheck. Even if you're not, this is still a good service to serve your community in a way and to recycle if you just want to be conscious of that. Anyone can take advantage of this service of taking these fruits and vegetables that aren't perfect. So it's good as well.
Doesn't save them any money, but the home delivery is convenient and they believe less waste will slow climate change.
This summer's been so hot that it's going to get worse.
Back with chef Jagger Gordon, he's taking his Feed It Forward idea to a new level. He's come up with an app that will allow anyone to share their extra food.
You just take a picture of the product that you want to donate, any food item that's still edible in good standing. So a piece of pizza or even a truckload of tomatoes, you just take a picture of it.
It uploads to a map
What?
so that whoever wants it can come get it.
But the
Whoa. Wow, that's next level. That's like the most convenient. Yeah, it's kind of funny imagining uploading a picture of your half-eaten pizza, but it's not funny to those who would actually. There are definitely people who would want perfectly good pizza and stuff. Not necessarily that it has to be pizza, but I want it to be pizza in this case. This is very cool. That's a very cool app.
great thing is every city can now be in competition of who is saving how much food from the landfills and how much food is actually being given back to people in need.
So you're going to try and start that competition.
It's starting.
The app launches into the marketplace next month, and many would say none too soon. It's time to get on board what's being called a global food waste revolution. Diane Buckner, CBC News, Toronto.
Wow.
Europe has been ahead of the game when it comes to legislation around food waste. In 2016, France became the first country in the world to ban supermarkets from throwing away or destroying unsold food.
Yeah, if ever there was a good, if ever there was a good reason to make it illegal to throw something away, which sounds kind of silly when you say it like that, but yeah, like when people are living or dying by this, and there's all this food getting just thrown away, I think like there should probably be laws saying, hey, make sure just don't put your food into the garbage, put it into this bucket over here, and we will get it to people in need. It's that, like, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you?
The big retailers now have to donate those goods to food banks and charities, or else face heavy fines. Italy followed suit, offering incentives to businesses who donate food to charities. It's also cleared some of the hurdles around donating food that's just past its expiry date. That was a big concern for health and liability reasons.
Okay. Wow. Wow.
Hi everyone, I'm Abby.
Oh, hold on. Sorry, Abby, but we're we're talking about food waste, not whatever that was. Okay. This was good. This was good. This was by CBC News, The National. And I liked it. That was a very nice segment. Very good topic to cover as well. I really enjoyed this. And it was very interesting seeing like the creative ways that Canadians are actually addressing this problem, realizing it's a problem and tackling it, and basically making food recycling, if you want to call it, or donating food, very, very, very easy in Canada. So I really like this. This is like super nice to see. And we definitely need more of this in America, for sure, immediately. Definitely. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this reaction, feel free to give it a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada, Canadian culture, or stuff in Canada that I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.